Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. I know that I've been MIA for a while and it's been really difficult for me to find time to sit down, to film, to find the time to really just about do anything. I've picked up so many extra hours through my regular job, as well as it's been difficult because I've been planning my wedding as well too. August 27th, it comes a lot faster than you expect. So I hope you guys enjoy. I just did this really simple eye look. You can do it with or without lashes. I am showing with for my first time doing lashes for you guys. Otherwise, the without turns out just as gorgeous. It is a very simple, everyday, daytime look that you can use, work, play. You can vamp it up and turn it into a night out very simply. Add a little bit more smoke to it, and you're good. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and stay tuned if you want to get this look. Thanks! So the very first thing we're going to start with is foundation today, because we're doing a really simple makeup look that's going to be super easy and super simple for just about anybody to do. I'm going to take it a little over the top with my two foundations, but this is what I've personally been loving recently for myself and just anybody, one of my friends. Been loving recently just for the reason of it's made my skin look so flawless, and it's not a super heavy coverage or anything like that. So what I've been starting with, actually, this is, you're gonna laugh at this tiny little flippin' bottle, but is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. It's just a little tiny bottle, really tiny. I had got it on a sample size just because I wanted to see if it worked, because normally my skin is extremely oily and it will not hold just about anything that you add. If you add a lotion, if you add an oil, if you add a primer, it will just slide and glide off of my face. But recently, I've been pretty sick, and when I get sick, my face gets extremely dry for some reason. So this has actually helped my face come back from the depths of beyond of horrible things. So I've actually been like packing this on, and all I do is I take it straight from the bottle, put it on my finger, and dab it on my face. And normally, I don't know if you guys remember my previous videos, I know it's been a while, I normally try to avoid putting just about anything oil related on my nose or around my T-zone, just because I get so oily that it's not worth it for me. It'll slide right off. But recently, like I said, with all this going on, my face loves oil, and it feels so good to have it on there. Like, I don't think you guys know, dry skin people, you're gonna understand. So I just massage that into my face. It works really good. Like, not a difficult but like, hopefully you guys understand what I mean. But like, I rub it pretty decently in there, and it just feels so good. Okay, so once that primer set, you want to let this stuff set for a second, because otherwise it will get extremely oily on top of your foundation. I wouldn't recommend leaving it looking like that, just for the reason being it's unappealing and it's unattractive. What I'm going to use for foundation today is two different foundations. This is what, like I said, I've been using probably for about the last month and a half, and it's actually made my skin feel and look better. The first one I start with is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Concealer and Foundation. This has worked wonders. I wear this alone. I wear it mixed with others. What I mix to it, just because this is a little off on my shade, since this is a little off on my shade, I have been mixing it with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. In the Clinique, I am 0.5 Breeze, and in this one, I am Y205, because I'm pale. Like, this honestly could pass as my perfect shade, but I've been mixing it just to add a little bit of a tinge. So I'm just going to mix this together on the back of my hands, and that way I can get a really good mixture. Usually it's 2 to 3 at the most gobs, depending on how much comes up in a gob. I call it a gob. In a gloop, I don't know what you guys want to call it, of the Clinique. So I get roughly about that much. Kind of hard to see, but, and then with this I take 1 pump. So it's an equal, I don't know if you guys can actually physically see that, but it's hard to see. I just mix these together, and I use a little tiny precision brush, and I just mix them together on the back of my hand. The other one that I will mix with the Ultra HD is also the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation, just because there are days where, yes, my oily skin comes back, and tried and true makes me look like shit. And, you know, you don't want to look like shit. I just take whatever's on the brush, apply it into my face, usually on one side of my cheek. I don't know why, just how it goes. And then I blend this out with a beauty blender. And I will start out pretty lightly with this, just to move it around so I can get it mixed in. And don't mind my like ratchet nasty looking beauty blender. It's been, I was supposed to get one today at the store and obviously I didn't. I forgot. I just spaced out and didn't even think about it. So I will make a trip to the store tomorrow. I've just been super busy. So I know I always tell you guys I've been super busy and it always sounds like I'm not, but recently I have been. My fiance and I have decided that we are going to start planning our wedding. We picked a date. We're getting married August 27th. I would normally say if you guys want to hear a video about how we're planning or something like that, tell me, but I'm not going to give you guys any advice on that because I'm like the worst person ever to ask for advice about wedding planning. My wedding planning has been absolutely horrible. My mother-in-law, my mother, everybody who knows me knows that I am a person who would just rather honestly say, fuck it, and go get married in a courthouse and be perfectly okay with that. But other people in this family do not believe that we should do things that way, that, you know, we're young enough and we have the, I don't want to say the money, I mean, it's not like we're extremely well off or anything. We both work decent jobs and we work hard to live decent lives, where, you know, we do have money to plan for these kind of things, but when you're planning on such short terms, it really, really makes it difficult for you to be able to, you know, actually get things done in a short period of time. I'm going to just wipe this down my neck a little bit, and that's all my foundation. Next I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Naked Weightless Skin Concealer. This is the stuff that I've been in love with. I see it in everybody's YouTube videos, like I really do, and I see them like cake this stuff on, and I can't do that. Like I do a tiny little like outline of a triangle, and then I do some on my eyes, center of my nose, tiny bit up there, and like a drop on my chin. It's so attractive. I just realized, like, looking into the viewfinder, like, wow, that's some style. And then I will just go back with my dampened beauty blender and I will blend that out. I do use a lighter shade in this just because I am pale, so I can get away with a tiny bit lighter of a shade. I am in the shade Fair Neutral. That's how pale I am. I can't wait until summer until I can start getting out in the sun a little bit more and enjoying life and hopefully getting a little bit of a tan because, like I said, I'm pale as shit. I'm doing this kind of like on hyper speed, I feel, but not really, because this is my everyday quick makeup routine that literally I can be ready in about 25 minutes on the high end, and that's if I want to add like extra stuff to my face and look like super glam. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and use the Morphe Translucent Powder. I picked this up online and I have to say I'm in love. Like, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever used. I used to not be a fan of translucent powders. I thought they were a joke. But this stuff has really just taken the cake. Like, it feels like nothing's there, and I'm literally setting my under eyes with a tiny bit. Almost blew out everything that was on the top of the lid. And then I'm also going to set where I put stuff on my forehead, my nose, a tiny bit on my chin. I will go back and do this just a tiny bit on my cheeks, just because when I add a bronzer and a highlighter and stuff like that, I do not like putting stuff on top of just foundation. I much prefer to have something, even if it's just a light translucent powder, like I dip my brush in once, and we're good. We're good, no more. Okay, so now that I have gone ahead and completed foundation, concealer, that kind of fun stuff, I'm going to move on to brows at this point. I just realized the camera's at a good angle, but my mirror down here is completely unflattering. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my brows really quick. These take me just a couple minutes. I have been currently still using, I can't say currently using because I've been using this for a while, is the Maybelline Brow Define and Fill Duo in Soft Brown. This has just been working absolutely wonderful for me. This one, I do need a different mirror because even though I have a mirror in front of me, this shit don't work that well. So I'm just going to do these really quick. I'm going to do these off camera. So this is going to be actually the start of our eyes. What I've been doing recently has been a super easy blendable eyeshadow look. I think you can customize it with just about any color that you feel that you've been in love with recently, and I think you'll realize in the long run as well how simple it is to do. I'm actually going to start with a color combination that it's actually only one color out of my Ipsy Glam bag from a couple of months ago, and this is from the City Color Eyeshadow Trio. We're actually going to go in with this orange right up here. It's a burnt orange, but it's not like a crazy orange or anything like that where it feels like there's too much going on with it. And you'll realize the rest of the look is actually going to be purple, but this I just feel adds like this really beautiful tinge of color into it, and it looks so gorgeous in the long run. So I have to use a little mirror, so if you guys see my little mirror right here, that's all I'm using. I'm actually going to go ahead and start this above the crease into the crease. So you're going to kind of bring it from here really only to about halfway into the eye, and that's really where you're going to want to focus the majority of your color. You can blend it out a little bit later. I look weird with just a little dot there, sorry. You can blend it out a little bit more later, but I've been preferring to stick to the outer corner and you're going to get it up into the actual eye, so you're going to really just do like that whole area. With doing this, I just find that this has been blending with this purple shade gorgeously. And this orange did not have a color name on it, I do not believe. If it did, if I can find it, I will go ahead and I will link it for you guys, or I'll at least give it in the description bar below. But this, I like to start a little bit heavier, and it will blend down, I promise you guys. It's not going to be this bright orange, bright-ass orange that you think you're looking at right now, because this, to me, looks obnoxious. But this is how I felt when I first started it, and so we're just going to go back and do the opposite eye now as well too. It's just super, I feel like everybody who's told me, they said that this feels like a sunset look, that it really just brings in this beautiful, gorgeous springtime kind of feel where it could be a nighttime or a daytime. I have been using this for work mainly, but also if I have anywhere to go, this has been my simple, easy, everyday look. The next color that we're actually going to go in with is a color from Morphe. It is called Celebration. It's this kind of matte, muted purple, almost like a chocolatey purple. That's what I would call it. This has been one of my favorite shades just recently. I purchased it from Morphe on a whim shop because it was a newer color, and I'm like, you know what, I have to have it. It's just too gorgeous. So I've been taking this on a really big fluffy brush. This is on a Morphe MB23 brush, and what I've been doing is this is really going to be focused mainly in the crease. And you're going to blend up a tiny bit. You do not want to hide all this orange. You really want that orange to shine through, because I feel like it really makes your eyes just protrude outwards with it. So if you're going for an open eye look, this is great. So we're going to go ahead and, like I said, really focus all the way in to the inner crease. And obviously, since I'm using a pretty big blendy brush, this is how I'm getting the color to blend a little bit more. And I like this pretty heavily pressed into here. Like, not like I'm like jabbing myself in the eyeballs, but you know what I mean? Like, I want this to be a really vibrant color. And I bring this down to the lids a little bit as well too. And I just kind of swoop it back and forth the entire time, just blending it out and getting that color to really go through and blend together with the orange. One of my girlfriends was like, why are you putting orange and purple together? And I'm like, you're going to love it. You're going to think it's gorgeous. And she's like, you're nuts. Orange and purple do not go together. And I'm like, girl, shut the F up. Like, I didn't use that term, but I used the F word because I was like, girl, I don't think you realize that this color combination is so beautiful together. So now that I've added my purple, I will go back with a little bit of orange, and I will just kind of blend the edges together of it, so it's more of a deep color right there. And it's a very minimal, very minimal amount of color that I've actually touched on my breath. I literally just right into the pan, and that was it. Now you could honestly just stick with your eyes just like this and make it through the entire day. Obviously a little bit of liner, a little bit of mascara, boom, you're out the door. But what I have actually been doing just to amp it up a tiny bit tiny bit, is I've been taking another color from Morphe. Now with this, you guys could also just keep it this simple. Go ahead, do a little bit of eyeliner underneath, smoke out the waterline a little bit, mascara, you're done, you're good for the day. What I've been doing to amp it up just a tiny bit to add a little bit more of iridescence to the eyes and make it a little bit more poppy and shiny is I've been doing Wink for Pink, which is another Morphe shade. Looks very hot pink to most people when you look at it indirectly, but once you get it on the eye, no, so much better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a very flat, short brush. This is a eyeshadow brush from e.l.f., one of my tried and true favorites. And I've just been taking this and packing it directly in the center of the eye, closest to the lash line, as just a little pop of color, because I feel like it kind of gives this really good ombre look to the eyes. And then I will go back through with my little bit of a purple, or a muted purple shade, and I just literally like dip it in the pan and then brush 90% of the color off just to blend it out and give that little bit more pop of a color on there. Now the next piece that I've been doing is for highlight. Loving and been using almost every day on just about anything has been Pearl. Now this does not look anything like a highlight color when you see it. Kind of hard to even tell the color, but once you get into the shine of a light and it on your eyes, it looks so gorgeous. So I've been just taking a small little pencil brush from Morphe. This is an M149 brush, and I've been taking this and dusting it just right underneath the highest point of my eyebrow. Then I really fan it out with nothing on the brush just to blend it a tiny bit. So obviously same on the other side and blend out. And then when I do take a tiny bit, I'll bring it into inner corner and a tiny bit to the waterline, just for that extra little pop of color. Now, what we're going to do to finish off the eye, so what I've been doing for an extra little just kind of dramatic look to it, if you were going to go for a daytime look, obviously I would say do a very simple nude color or copper color. What I either use is my Mr. Right Now from the Balm. This is in the color Jack, or I've been using my Sephora 24-Hour Kai color waterproof, and this is in Blonde Ambition. Either one of these is great for a daytime look. I wanted to go a little bit more vampy today. I want to go more for the dramatic. So I'm actually going to take my new tried and true CoverGirl Perfect Point Plus in Carbon Black, Black Onyx. And we're going to just put this underneath the waterline. Sorry, I know this looks weird, but I have to pull down a teeny bit. And I go about 2/3 of the way in. And that's just to add a tiny little bit of dramatic to the eyes. And then I'm using that same muted color that we were doing in the middle of the eyes, so I believe still my Morphes, still sticking with those. And I'm taking it on a very short, flat, pudgy brush. This is the Luxie 221 Flat Definer brush, and I am bringing this just right underneath, just to add some dimension to it. And this will kind of help bring your eye shape together as well too. You could do a darker color. I don't want to go in front of you guys. You could go and do a darker color. However, I feel like this just brings it all together for you. Now, I do not do a lot of blending underneath my eyes because they do water so much if I do. So this is just very simple. The next piece that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go in with my Scandalized Retrogram mascara from Rimmel. Yep, Rimmel. And we're just going to go ahead and do a nice good coat of mascara, because I don't feel like you really need falsies for this look. I will put them on and show you guys in the intro what they look like, just to say, hey, this is how they look, and they can look more dramatic. I will link, obviously, what ones I will use in the product bar, but just a nice healthy coat. Make those lashes stand out, and do not forget your lower lash line as well too, just to make sure it pops up a little bit more. The next piece that I'm going to go ahead and do really quick is going to just be a really quick contour on my face, and I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I am using, almost whacked myself in the face with this thing. I am using the lightest color, obviously, because I'm pale. And I've just actually been loving doing it right on the back parts of my cheeks, just to add that tiny bit of a definition to it, and bringing it to the hairline and then I do a tiny bit on the forehead and right underneath the chin. And that is all I have needed for doing my contour, because lately I just feel like it's 10 times easier. What I'm going to do then for highlight is I'm actually using my Balm palette, and I'm using this predetermined gold, disco gold. I don't know what it is about this color, but I could dip my face in this color and be the happiest person in the world. And I would normally say spray your face, set it, but honestly this look, with the amount of powder we have on and the right setting amount to it, it really does not need anything for setting, guys. So this is actually the final look with lashes on. I know it's a little harder to see. So let me zoom in just a tiny bit. The lashes that I'm using are actually the Kiss lashes in, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what brand these are. They're from, these are actually Kiss lashes. These are in the number 03. I picked these up from Walgreens the other day, and I just thought that they were super simple and really just lightweight and airy looking lashes. So go ahead, enjoy the rest of your look, vamp it up as much as you can. I want to see your tweets on Twitter, anywhere that you guys will show me how you recreated this simple, easy look. Thanks guys so much for watching. I love you all, and see you soon.